Namaste. The Honorable Chief Minister of Sikkim, Sri Prem Singh Tamang Goleju, could not make it or could not participate in this conclave despite his keenness and commitment. As the budget session in Sikkim, this is the first budget session, will start tomorrow, and he has to present the budget. Therefore, he has deputed me. The Honorable Union Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanju, our inspiringly warm host, Honorable Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Sri Trivendra Singh Rawat, Honorable Chief Ministers of Himachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Honorable Ministers from Mizoram, and representatives from Manipur and Tripura, Honorable Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, Honorable Chairman of the 15th Finance Commission, Honorable Ministers in Uttarakhand, Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Representative of the Government of Jammu and Kashmir, distinguished Secretaries of Drinking Water and the 15th Finance Commission, distinguished member of the NDMA, and of course the President of the MDI, and respected senior officials, experts, academics, and the Chief Secretary, distinguished Chief Secretary in Uttarakhand, ladies and gentlemen. Warmest greetings from the people of Sikkim to all of you in this first collective meeting of the Honorable Union Finance Minister, Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, Chairman of the 15th Finance Commission, and the Honorable Chief Ministers of all the Himalayan states in India. This conclave is historic and far-reaching in four crucial contexts. First, India emerging as a global economic power. Second, repositioning of the entire Himalayan region of India in the changing dynamics of geopolitics, geoeconomics, and cultural ecology. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi's critical and sagacious national interest policy of Act East, neighborhood first, and cooperative federalism, and unfurling impact of climate change and the aspirations and enthusiasms among the Himalayan states to be the second set of growth poles. We profusely thank the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Sri Trivendra Singh Rawat, for taking this innovative and timely initiative. We are so very grateful to Honorable Finance Minister for her presence after presenting such a widely acclaimed union budget to the nation. We also thank the Honorable Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, the Chairman of the 15th Finance Commission for their presence and for sure patiently listening to common but diverse, macro but very local and relatively small yet issues of national importance and other perspectives of the Himalayan states. Our government is hardly 2 months old now. We are preparing to present our first state budget in the next few days. On the very urgent requirements of our state, we have already submitted details to the august office of the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Finance Minister. Let me once again enumerate some of them. The state of Sikkim, despite profuse funding from the Union government, is in the dire situation of large-scale debt and extensive liability. We have inherited a literally empty exchequer. We remain deeply shattered by the unexplainable and unjustifiable guarantee that the state government generously extended to the failing hydropower projects and other ventures. Our state is facing an acute financial distress on account of the legacy of debt of almost 8,819 crore. The 25 years long misrule of the previous government has come to an end, but it has left behind an administrative and financial system that is completely in a state of disarray. However, we have a vision and commitment. We have strategies and desire to build a new Sikkim that is in line with the dreams of the NDA government to make India a global power to reckon with. Our budget will bring out the essence of what we plan to undertake and how we strive to accomplish the idea of Sikkim as a green growth pole of the East. We focus on modern institutions building, state-of-the-art infrastructure and connectivity, accessible and affordable modernized public utility services, generation of critical mass of entrepreneurs, making traditional medicines, floriculture, horticulture, and organic cultivation a global brand, becoming a pivot on Buddhism circuit and eco-adventure tourism, interconnecting with the cross-border energy grid, emerging as a freshwater capital, gateway to the Southeast Asia, and establishing a center of excellence on climate change impact and mitigation. After we successfully reopened the Nathula trade route with the Tibet Autonomous Region of China after 44 years in 2006, our outward-looking policy is now doubly focused on harnessing the opportunities brought by India's Act East policy. It has highly inspired us to integrate the produces, services, and energy of the entire Northeast region for exports to Southeast Asia and East Asia through India-Myanmar trilateral highway and nearby port facilities. To facilitate market integration, diversify export basket, and take advantage of India-ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, we plan to invite the investors from the Southeast Asian countries, particularly from the CLMB countries, under the newly introduced Northeast Industrial Development Scheme 2018, which is, of course, the brainchild of the present Finance Minister and was designed during her tenure as the Honorable Commerce Minister there. A key driver would be the talented youth in the age group of 15 to 29, forming about 28% of the population. Huge reservoir of Sikkimese and Himalayan soft power, technology-savvy officials, private sector and communities, national and global multilateral agencies, relatively young and bright leaders with strong political acumen, and of course a set of critical educational, research and professional institutions we have today with us. We just need a big push to reach a state of WW Rosto's takeoff and make a great leap forward. We are now in a critical stage of interventions where Finance Ministry, Finance Commission, and the Niti Aayog have to play the roles of pivots. We have the blessings of the Honorable Prime Minister and the NDA government, and of course the mountain gods and goddesses. In view of the current financial crisis that our state is facing, we have requested the Honorable Prime Minister to kindly consider giving us a special one-time central assistance of rupees 4,000 crore to help us recover from the dire situation and find funds for far-reaching development projects. Let me also mention that owing to the 14th Finance Commission's recommendation, Sikkim lost grants from the center on two major counts, namely restructuring of non-finance commission grants, and because of the over-optimistic and unrealistic revenue projections by the 14th Finance Commission, the state was made ineligible to avail the revenue deficit grant. Our estimate shows that Sikkim lost on transfers with the cumulative impact lost to the extent of 9,900 crore over the 14th FC period, Finance Commission period of 2015 to 2020. This had highly deleterious impact on major segments of development programs in the state. So this is our plea to the honorable ministers. Sikkim has a distinct political, cultural history and is surrounded by 4 international borders, including Bhutan, China, Nepal, and little away Bangladesh. We have been able to ensure and preserve our national security and national interest in an absolute and uncompromised way. Sikkimese people are fully conscious of our national interest and fully dedicated to contribute to the nation-building process. However, we have witnessed a number of newer trends in our borderlands that could bring serious human and national security challenges. We have seen non-traditional security threats emanating from climate change impact, more frequency of varieties of disasters, piracy and manipulation of our rich genetic resources, cross-border environmental injuries, new genre of strains of human, animal, and plant diseases, huge and unprecedented physical infrastructures on the other side of our borders, steady depletion in both hydrological and environmental flows in our river system, drying up of our traditional springs, illegal migrations and smuggling of psychotropic substances and wildlife. Tackling all these non-traditional threats require a new set of institutions, human expertise, technical know-how, and technological interventions. We have been closely working with all our national institutions and policymakers in this regard. However, we feel the issues are urgent and need to be prioritized at the national level. We shall have to move fast in terms of creating institutional infrastructures and human capacities, and also understand and assimilate the developments on the other side of our border and borderlands. In some cases like disasters, river water sharing, cost management, biodiversity erosion, our national policymakers have to closely coordinate with the institutions on the other side of the borders. We feel the programs like BADP and critical agency like BRO have to be drastically reoriented, made more comprehensive and modern in their technical know-how and up-to-date in technology induction. Therefore, we fully support one of the clauses in our memorandum today, creation of a new national funding project proposed at National Importance Project Fund, specifically for the Himalayan States in our memorandum today. What we would like to do in Sikkim during the next 10 years is we plan to set up mountain ports in Sikkim. Since we don't have the seaports, we are going to set up mountain ports. And these mountain ports are devoted to one, state-of-the-art climate change research and mitigation center for the entire Himalayan region, and two, globalization of locals projects, under which we plan to commercially establish horizontal and vertical integration of the rich traditional medicinal systems with the global market in focus. This would also mean bringing together stakeholders like traditional faith healers, communities that cultivate herbs and medicinal plants, university researchers, national institutions to undertake laboratory testing, patenting institutions, technology providers, investors and innovators, brand building, marketing and value chain professionals, experts on Nagoya Protocol and other legal framework. In the absence of such initiative, we have only lost a huge portion of the traditional knowledge base, but also our comparative advantage and core competence in the global market have sharply eroded. Both these products will have high income potentials, generate huge employment opportunities, produce a new set of knowledge, reestablish our core competence, inject innovative and competitive actions among the youth, consolidate our national security interest in the borderlands, and more importantly, add significant value to our national efforts to be a major player in the global world. We have already started working on these far-reaching projects of national importance. We are redesigning the technical feasibility and also revamping of the Glaciology Commission, which we started in 2008. The 15th Finance Commission may set aside a seed grant of rupees 450 crore for these two trans-Himalayan projects in Sikkim. My government's first budget will have these projects as the innovative hallmark of sustainable development. We are now submitting a joint memorandum of the Himalayan States to the Finance Commission. While preparing this memorandum, we have also considered the entire gamut of problems, whole range of issues, and also our collective responsibility in dealing both as a member of Himalayan state and also as a crucial constituent of in nation building process. I take this rare opportunities to re-emphasize before the 15th Finance Commission on the criticality of the following. First, setting up of an exclusive Ministry of Himalayan Development, primarily aimed at repositioning the Indian Himalayas as a core in India's neighborhood first policy, locating the regions in the changing reforms and development trajectory, and also harnessing a range of Himalayan resources in a scientific, sustainable way as a global brand name. Two, reviving the historical nomenclature of special category states given to the Himalayan states with further consolidations of the well-founded principles and essential provisions made for these states. Three, making substantive provisions of revenue deficit grant. for increase in the vertical devolutions from 42% to at least 50% of the net proceeds of taxes, and earmarking of at least 30% of the total vertical devolution for the Himalayan region states. 5, considering the core of horizontal devolutions with weightage of 20% to area, 15% to ecosystem services, 25% to population, and 40% to economic consideration. 6, earmarking of substantive funds for green bonus and peace dividends, as we have been the custodians of both greenery, green economies in the country, and of course, the peace process in the country. 7, significantly enhancing the state disaster response fund, allocations of the Himalayan states, and drastic and realistic revisions of norms of relief admissible under SDRF to effectively deal with the ground realities in hill and mountain areas. 7, setting up of a separate and exclusive disaster rehabilitation and mitigation fund, recovery and reconstruction fund, and also earthquake risk reduction fund for the Himalayan states. 8 and 9 is overcoming the inherent development disabilities and recognizing the immense contribution of environmental services to the rest of the nation. 2% of the gross budgetary support must be made in each of the annual plan. 10, bringing in and practicing innovative interventions made in the past in terms of grants in aid, sharing of central taxes, debt relief, calamity relief, and special purpose grants. 11, re-examining the relatively lower own tax GSDP ratio and high debt GSDP ratio of the Himalayan states with an objective to significantly enhance the revenue deficit grant, and considering the protectedly low state of credit deposit ratio along with income distance, criteria for determining devolution must be made. Offsetting the discontinuation of special purpose grants, at least 30% of the shareable pool may kindly be set aside to be shared among the practical amongst the special category states. And last point is recognizing the skewed human settlements in the rugged terrains of the states in the Himalayan regions. In the weightage given to population, a certain percentage be assigned on the basis of 2011 population, with the rest to be assigned to inverse of the population density and as an incentive to move towards this replacement rate of population growth. We urge the 15th Finance Commission to also set up the new national importance project fund aimed at making the entire Himalayan regions interconnected, developed and secured and integrated with the rest of India, and transforming the entire Himalayan regions into what you call the new growth poles. Under the NIPF, proposed NIPF, adequate and substantive funding in the line of the non-lapsable pool of funds generated for and extended to the Northeast region by all the ministries in the Government of India from their planned budgets since 1996 may be set aside, which could be effectively used by the Himalayan states to undertake some major and sustained interventions in the border and borderland regions. So I thank you for your kind indulgence and benign consideration. Jai Hind, Jai Sikkim, and Jai Himalayan States. Thank you very much.